Euro USD making its way down, it appears. Just looking at this for the first time in a few days. You can see it broke this area and completely rejected it again many times, so that's good. That's some good healthy price action. I wanted price to come back up here, but to this 110 level, but clearly did not. So because the US dollar is pushing up and gaining strength, there has been, I don't know if it's going to continue, but it has been recently. That's what's really pushing this down, I think. I do think the euro is getting weaker overall, and I think it's about to sell off on all the euro pairs, like Euro CAD, Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi, but I do think it's mostly the dollar being strong that has pushed this down. So I'll delete this for now. You can see prices coming into this area of significance here, right around 108.50, I think is the top. Yep, 108.50. I'm actually going to mark this out because that's kind of important. 108.5, 108.5. It's always good to mark your whole numbers out. And then, especially as wicks come through it, because it's hard to tell on prices, like what these wicks actually mean as it comes through. But when you write, 108.5, you're like, oh, okay, these wicks are all, that's the price that it's actually rejecting. It's not rejecting, like that's the main price that all of this is rejecting. So, as far as right now, I don't see much. We see it is Friday, so prices, this weekly candle is closing soon, about 5 hours. You can see it's very bearish. The last bunch of candles have been bearish. I think next week is going to take out this zone as well. I think it's going to continue lower. I think this is just the beginning of the sell-off here. So I'd be looking for something like this come next week. And then your range for this pair for Euro USD is about 400 pips, I do believe. So yeah, it's actually sitting at 410 right now. So 400 is really reasonable, and so we can definitely do this move next week, and then possibly the week after to end the month. Let's see, we have a full week next week for the month, and then we have pretty much another full week. We have 4 days, so pretty much 9 days total for the 9 trading days for this pair before the end of the month. So I think price could definitely come up to here, retest it again, and then all the way down to end the month and shoot for this 106.5 level, the bottom of this zone. I think it's very reasonable for it to do that. That's your 400 pips range on the month. It's actually a bit more because this did come up to like 1065, so, but all within reason. I could see price actually creating a lower liquidity zone here, so I would actually be very mindful of this little area here. So price might not come up and make it to this big area. It might actually fall short here, especially because you got these wicks here. So looking at this, I can see this area, this big one here, was a massive liquidity area, and then what happened is it created a new one right here, which is which a little bit in this zone and then half outside of it, and kind of created a new zone if you look at this. And so there's a chance that this actually creates a lower one after this. Happens all the time. So I would be looking for something even, right here, right below this main liquidity area. I'd be looking for price to come back up into this area and start rejecting somewhere and then heading back down. So that is my positioning on euro dollar for right now. Let this week close up. It's probably just going to close in a bit of a doji kind of thing, and it's going to come back up and retest, and then probably Monday, Tuesday, we'll see how that sets up. If it hits 109, kind of 109.10 area here in this zone, then we look for a short position. And I would actually be very curious how it reacts when it hits 109 even here. So we'll mark this out. So like that's right where this liquidity zone is. I told you guys. So I'd be looking for price to come up to 109-ish and then see if it starts rejecting, and I bet you it will. And then you're looking for your short position at that point. So we will move this over here. This would be what we're kind of looking for. So this would be Tuesday setup. If everything goes well and today closes like this, Monday pushes back up, and then maybe mid-Tuesday we're looking for a short entry here right around 109, 109.10. So all the way down to 106.5, which is the monthly range. 400 pips, totally reasonable. It actually does. It's been doing a little bit more than that recently, so I think that's totally within reason. The monthly target's the bottom of this zone, which is where it seems to have some resistance. So, and if it breaks this area, which I think it will, there's not really much between this area and this area, so it makes sense that as soon as this gets broken, we're headed down. So that is my take on euro dollar. I do think it's going to push down further, especially after it retraces and comes up to 109, which means that, and especially if the dollar index keeps going up, which I'm not sure about that yet right now, but if that did decide to keep breaking up higher and become bullish, then that would really push this down. So something to keep in mind. So if this falls, it might really fall pretty quick. You know, it might be a couple hundred pips in one day. So totally possible for euro dollar, and that is my take on it. We will check back in, well, it's Friday, so it's not going to do much after today for a few days, but maybe Monday, Tuesday we'll check back in on this and see if our analysis is correct and if it's lining up for a short position down to 106.5.